So this is actually a really, really useful book for everything you're going to learn as you grow a business. It's going to give you a breakdown of tactics to do, as well as things to look for or anticipate on each step of your growth. And it goes on to saying that the first 100,000 is the hardest to make, and then from that to $1 million, you know, the steps that's gonna take, and then beyond, obviously. So like I said, I really like this book because it's really simple to navigate through, and it gives you those breakdown steps again on where you're at now at 0, and then how to get to the next point. Okay, so I'll read over the context here. All right, so we got the intro, which is the very best job done in the world. Chapter 1, getting to the next level. Chapter 2, why employee size matters, a different way of measuring the 4 stages. Chapter 3, becoming a 5-star business genius. Part 2, excuse me, that was all part 1. So being all that you can be, okay? And then part 2 is stage 1, infancy, the supremacy of selling. Then chapter 5, the opulent selling strategy and the 4 fundamental secrets of selling your first product. Chapter 6, mastering the copy side of selling. Chapter 7, secondary and yet important priorities for stage 1 business. Chapter 8, a quick review of problems, challenges, opportunities faced by the stage 1 entrepreneur. And then we go into part 3. There's 5 parts. So part 3 is childhood, from 1 million to 10 million and beyond. How to break through the one product company syndrome. Chapter 10 is innovation, the key to second stage growth. Chapter 11 is speed. Put ready, fit, fire, aim into your business. And actually, you know, he's referring to that other book. Excuse me, not the other book. That's the name of this book. He's referring to, I was thinking he was referring to that other one that I have here too tonight. But I think it was this one. Never Eat Alone. But I was mistaken. So, all right. So let's go back here. Chapter 12, getting ready. Chapter 13, what are you waiting for? Start firing ready. Chapter 14, aiming the product. Chapter 15, aiming the market. A quick crash course. Chapter 16, aiming the market, understanding the buying frenzy. Chapter 17, ready, fire, aim, and action. Chapter 18, the problems, challenges, and opportunities faced by the stage 2 entrepreneur. And before we go on to part 4, I want to say something about part 3. So I remember this part actually pretty well because it talks about firing people, and it's something that as a business owner you don't necessarily want to do. It's not a fun thing to fire people, especially when you put a lot of time, energy, and effort into training them and hope that, you know, they were going to work out, or hope that you could offer them something more. So I actually want to turn to this chapter here when I get past the contents, and we're going to go over that in this book. Okay, so part 4. Stage 3, adolescence, making the stage 3 transformation. Chapter 20, changing into a corporate leader. Chapter 21, filling your stage, 3 businesses with stars and superstars. Chapter 22, bottlenecks, bureaucracy, I can't even say that right now, and politics. Chapter 23, a quick review of problems, challenges, and opportunities faced by the stage 3 entrepreneur. Stage 4, adulthood, the last big change, and acting as your company's main investor. Chapter 25. And then again, it has notes in the back, which, let me see what type of breakdown the notes have. It also has an index in the back too. So the notes, let's see what they say here. Oh, the notes are just notes. It's just shows you other books that it pulls from. Think of it like resources. It's like a resources. Okay. So like I said, I really want to pull from this book. I want to talk about what are you waiting for? Start firing already. But before I get to that, I'm going to find out here in the beginning the the thing I first learned when reading this book, and it was really an amazing little like snippets, and I want to read it to you here. Let me see. Infancy. Okay, infancy, stage 1, 0 to 1 million in revenue. You don't really know what you're doing is the problem. Your main challenge is making your first making your first profitable sale. And then your main opportunity is achieving a minimal critical mass of customers. And your main skill needed is to sell your product. All right. So I like how that breaks it down on like what to look for on each one. Okay. And I think this is what I wanted to read here. Let me see. Get the product ready to sell it. Don't worry about the sell it. It's a smart long. Okay. Yeah, this is a smart thing that I think everybody needs to be aware of, and I am going to go ahead and say it here again, using this amazing book as your guide. Okay, so priorities for stage 1 business. In starting a business, this is what priorities and sequence of activities should be. Get the product ready enough to sell it, but don't worry about perfecting it. Okay. Number 2, sell it. Number 3, then if it sells, make it better. Okay. And it says that's a smart way to launch a business, but it's not the common one. Most would-be entrepreneurs do just about everything else first, such as taking care of legal requirements, forming an incorporation, getting local business permits, filing BAs, etc., buying or leasing office space, hiring employees, or gathering the business and tax forms they will eventually need to file. Don't do that. Your most important thing in starting your business is to just start. Have something that's at least viable for a person to buy and just start doing it. So I'll give you a couple of little stories here, and then I want to change over to firing people. I know, such a drastic leap between, starting a business and firing people. But I want to say, as coaching business people over many years now, and really seeing business owners grow and even go out of business sometimes, their really big turning point is when they do actually start with selling. And it's really just from the very start. If they're starting out of their home, that would be ideal. Now, if it's something they couldn't do at home, they might rent a small space from somebody. They might go to like a farmer's market. They might open a Shopify account. And that's really where to start. And put everything under their name. So take out, your own credit card. Don't take out a loan. And again, I can't say and stress this enough. Don't do the rest of the stuff yet. Like, don't do the logos. Don't do the contracts. Don't figure out taxes. Like, don't try to break down your agreement with your partners or partner if you have one of those. Just start selling. Just say, what is my viable product that I think will sell, and just start selling it, because you need to get used to being in that mindset, being somebody that is comfortable talking about their product to other people, and then really figure out exactly what people want, because a lot of times we think that they want certain things, or the market might be ready for something, but you might be way left field and need to restructure. And it's better to do that early on than having everything else that you're worrying about, getting those phone calls about setting up your new banking account, and getting the phone calls of naming your LLC, or finding the perfect graphic or for your logo, or setting up your website even. And just start selling the darn thing. Okay, so I really like the cut and dry approach this book has to just doing the business. Okay, and again, it has a really cut and dry each process through each of the major steps from 0 to 1 million. Okay. So let's go over here. I wanted to talk one more thing, like I said, before we move on to the next one. I'll make it really quick because I want to move on to the next book here. And it's going to be about, like I said, firing people, because nobody wants to fire people, but maybe